In case you've forgotten, you've got this. You can do this. I believe in you. Everything's gonna be okay.
You got me feeling a fight. You got me feeling a fight. Like how could I not think of you?
Me and B said that to each other today. We said, I believe in you. And he had told me that I still keep going despite the struggles, and that's admirable. And I said, thank you, with a smiley face. Which I am appreciative of that. I think it is always nice to have people by your side, people in your life who do believe in you and who find your resilience admirable. Because I find the people in my life admirable as well, inspirational even. So I think it's good to have that kind of energy in your life, people who admire you, people who feel inspired by you, and you inspire each other. But at times I have felt like I've just had no other choice but to keep going. I've not had another choice. It's been a while since I've hit a point in life where I felt like I wish life would just stop for a little while. And I don't mean like end, but I mean I wish there could be a literal pause to everything. One of the moments I can recognize really well when I really wanted to take a pause was a few years ago. I had a friend pass away. And I really wished life would just pause. It didn't seem right for everything to keep going. It didn't seem right for the days to just keep passing by as if everything were normal, because it didn't feel normal. I had lost somebody very important to me. I had never lost somebody like that before. So experiencing a loss like that, that was definitely a moment when I felt like I wish life could just pause for a moment. But in terms of how I keep going, even despite the struggles, I don't know that that's like I don't think that's a big thing to do. And I'm not trying to be like, how am I trying to say this? Sorry, Dorothy climbed up onto my leg and I'm now completely distracted, and children are screaming outside. And I've been irritated all freaking day. I've just been moody. I went and took a freaking bubble bath. I say bubble bath. There were no bubbles. I took a bath. Because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go be really freaking nice to myself. So I did that. And I'm still moody, and that's fine. I had this conversation with my brother not too long ago, and I think I talked about it on the pod, of just like, we don't really have another choice but to keep going. And like, that's our strength. That's kind of our superpower, is this ability to keep going regardless of what happens. We just keep trucking along. But sometimes, don't you just wish? Sometimes, don't you just wish you could just not truck along? Don't you just wish sometimes you could like fall back into something like bad? Does that make sense? Does anybody else ever feel like that? Because like the best example I can give is like, I used to self-harm, and sometimes, and I'm not advocating this, I'm not encouraging this, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. Sometimes I still wish I was like in a place where I felt like I could, I don't know if I can say that on here. I'm not going to say that, but maybe you get the gist. Sometimes I wish I could utilize old behaviors. Let's say that. Sometimes I wish I could utilize old behaviors. Because sometimes it seems like maybe that would make me feel, I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm trying to explain. It just gets really exhausting and tiring to just have to keep going all the time. Just to keep having to get up every day and do this shit is hard. And I know, again, I'm moody, so, but I think it's important to recognize when we feel like this. I think it's important to recognize, because you don't always feel this way, right? Like, all of us have our days where we're just like, God, I wish it was over. I wish the day was over. I wish I didn't have to keep going. I wish I didn't have to do this thing. But you do the thing anyway, right? Maybe you don't do the thing, but tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you don't feel like this anymore. And you're like, wow, life is so beautiful. Why would I ever want to not do this? Wow. This is so fun. B and I also had a conversation. It was brief. We had a short conversation today about like wholeness, about like feeling whole. And he had used the term like potholes. Like there's potholes, quote unquote, within him that he'd like to fill. And I said, what if there are some potholes that can never be filled? What if there are some voids inside of us that can only shrink, but they don't disappear? And I was thinking about this before I was getting in the bath. I was thinking about it like physically, our bodies, when we scar, that's our body's best. That's our body's doing its best. It has done its best to heal us from a physical wound. It leaves a scar sometimes. Sometimes physical wounds are, sorry, I have cat hair in my nose. Sometimes physical wounds are too deep and the body does its best to heal it and it leaves behind a scar. I know using the example of a scar is probably, you know what? No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say it's probably overused, but I'm going to use it anyway. Internally, I think the same mechanics are at play. I think internally our soul, or whatever it is inside that helps us heal, I just think it's the soul. I think our soul does its best with certain quote unquote potholes, with certain voids. It does its best. And sometimes there are internal scars, things that will not fully go away, pains and hurts that will not fully disappear. And I suppose you wouldn't want them to. I don't know. When I think about it, like, because that was the part of the context of mine and B's conversation was like, instead of perfection, we are trying to move toward wholeness, whatever that means for us. And I guess those scars are a part of that wholeness. I don't know. I get tripped up over it, like thinking like, oh, I'm trying to become a whole person. I'm trying to become a complete person. It's like I have definitely felt at times like away from myself. And that's, I think for me, if wholeness works for somebody else, that's completely fine. Like the term wholeness and like, yeah, if that helps someone understand what it is to be fully themselves or to be more of themselves, then that's completely okay. But I don't think wholeness works for me. For me, it's always, or I don't necessarily mean, not necessarily always, but for me, I think It's a matter of feeling close to myself, which I guess in the same sense would be like feeling more whole. You feel more like you. The more I feel away from myself, I know that there's something wrong. There's something disconnecting me from me. The things that make me feel away from myself, I try not to involve myself in those things. The people that make me feel away from myself, but the only way I know what it feels like to be distant from myself is because of how often I've been distant from myself. And also because of how I've learned how to be close to myself. I had to burp, but I was not going to leave that. I know in the past I'll leave my burps on the podcast, but that was a good one. No. Yeah, me searching for my vape. There's no nicotine in it. That's probably part of why I'm grumpy, is because my vapes are dead. Like, I literally popped in a nicotine gum before I got in the bath. There are several reasons why I'm moody today, okay? And I'm here. I'm trying. I think that's what matters. Okay. Maybe not everything I'm saying is making a lot of sense, because I am just trying to piece together some things. I'm trying to piece together recently. And also I've had so many thoughts these last few days. So many thoughts, I have felt internally, like my internal energy has felt really good. So me being like moody today, that's fine. But like internally, even today, like internally, I do feel very close to myself. That's why like I'm in these moods and stuff. I know it'll pass. Feeling like, oh, I wish life would pause, or feeling like I'm not having fun today. Whatever feeling I'm feeling, it's like, I know it'll pass. And I also, even in these moments, these difficult moments, I do still feel close to myself. Like I went and took care of myself instead of the alternative, what I would have done in the past. It's like when I feel like this, I would have like hurt myself, you know? Like instead of doing that, I went and took care of myself. What? Like, yeah, I get it now. This place that I'm in now, this person that I am now, yes, it makes sense that I take care of myself because I'm with myself now. I'm here for myself. I love myself. But I do find myself like not necessarily going back and forth between like, I don't want to take care of myself to I do. Well, maybe that is it. Maybe that is it. Some days I don't feel like taking care of myself. That's a good way to put it. Like, you know how I was saying earlier where I was talking about like, sometimes I wish I just, like I have no other choice but to keep going. And sometimes I wish I just didn't have to keep going. It's more like that. Sometimes I wish I didn't have to take care of myself. Because it's a lot. And I do love taking care of myself. That's why it's like, even when I feel those ways, when I feel like I don't want to, it usually means that I should. You know those moments when it's like the thing that you don't want to do is probably the thing that you should do. It's like the hard thing to do that you just don't want to do is probably the thing that you should do. So it's interesting to me though. Like I went and took care of myself because I didn't feel like taking care of myself today. And I took myself on a walk today. And I sat with some trees. And I cried a little. I was happy. I was just crying because I was happy. And I sent B a text and told him that I was happy he existed. Because I was just in this moment with myself. And I was like, I was thinking about, I'll be honest here. Not that, like I'm not honest. Like, I'll be honest here. Like I don't spill my guts on this podcast. I took myself for a walk today. I went to this place here in the city that I've been to several times before. And it's just like it's these nice trails, and the flowers aren't completely in bloom yet, but it was such a nice day today, and I was off today. I had to go do it. But the last time I was there, I believe it was the last time that I was there, I was with my ex-husband. And so I knew when I brought myself there today that, of course, the person I was going to think of, at least when I got there, at least when I started, was going to be him. And I did. I thought of walking with him and just how natural and comfortable it felt to just be with somebody. And I sat with myself with these trees, and it reminded me the way that the trees were set up, and like I was sitting on this like slab, and like I was just out in kind of the middle of things, and there were like trees around, but they were like kind of close. So it's kind of like a circle. And I was sitting like I was a part of the formation of the circle. And it made me think of the first time that I had met my husband. It made me think of that. Like the setting, like how it was set up. And I just remember like I was sitting there today, and I was thinking about old memories and stuff, and thinking about my ex-husband and I being there at that place, and then thinking about meeting him for the first time. And then I just thought like I was sitting there by myself this time around. And I was okay, and like I was happy, and I felt, oh no, I told myself that wholeness wasn't the right word for me, but here I am saying I felt whole. I felt whole in that moment. I felt with myself. And so I cried a little bit because I was just like thinking to myself, I made it. Like I made it through. Like I made it through not only a difficult marriage and a difficult relationship, like I made difficult choices. Like I didn't choose to stay, I chose to go. And it wasn't even just the relationship, it was everything before that too. It was like the dysfunction in my family that I've talked about a lot, and everything that made me feel disconnected from myself, like I got through. I got through it all. And I'm still going through bits and chunks. And sometimes freaking asteroids. Some days it feels like I'm going through a lot of it still. But like I feel close to myself, and I feel close enough to myself every single day that I know I'll be all right. Even if an asteroid is coming my way, I'm like, I'm gonna get through it. Or I'll just, step aside. We'll just avoid that. Nope, not my disaster. Not this time around. I'm not gonna accept the disaster. I'll go to a place where there are less asteroids coming at me. I'll form an environment where there are less potholes. But yeah, I was just sitting there with myself like, I did that. I got through that. Like that's, I don't know if that makes sense. But it's like I've never felt as close to myself as I do now. And it's because I chose that. And choosing yourself is not, it is like, great and all. And it does lead you to really good things, I think. At least internally, I feel very strong most days. It does give you a sense of self, a sense of strength. a sense of like peace and contentment so far from what I've learned in my own journey. But it's like choosing yourself means letting go of some things. And like, I think that's the most difficult part, is not everything and not everyone is going to choose you too. Because not everyone wants to choose the version of you that you want to choose. Not everything or everyone is going to be accepting of the version of you that you feel closest to. Does that make sense? The version of you that feels the most like you. And I know I keep saying version, but like, if you've it's just like evolving. You're still, of course, who you've always been. You still have like, you know, the same body and the same brain and stuff. But does different versions make sense? I'm sure it does. I'm talking to freaking people who, of course, are going to resonate with this, hopefully. But I just don't want to be confusing. But like, not everyone's going to be accepting of you. And not every environment is going to accept you. But I think that's all right. Because you're not meant to be accepted by everything and everyone. You're meant to be accepted by what is for you. And that has been my theme. If you know, you know. I talk about like having themes sometimes of just the theme of my life right now. That has been the center of things right now. The thing that I've been really attuned into. I know it sounds woo-woo. The energy that I have been attuned into internally right now has been this. What is meant for me will come. What is not meant for me, I release. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. And I've also been trying not to worry as much, because everything will be okay. Like I told you in the beginning of the video, everything will be okay. You've got this. I believe in you. You can do it. Everything's going to be okay. Those are reminders for myself too. But for you as well, for whoever needs it. It is going to be okay. It is. But you just got to believe in you, in the version of you that you want, the person that you want to be. It's you. You have to be you and believe in you. And then, once you do that, once you do that very easy thing of just believing in yourself wholeheartedly and you never give up on yourself, once you believe in your own strength and your own abilities and your heart and your mind and your soul, once you do that very easy task, that very simple task of believing in yourself, once you do that, then what is meant for you will come, and what is not meant for you, you'll find a way to let go of. So the universe is just trying to let me know, I think. Yes, I'm going to just speak the way that I speak to myself, and it's going to sound a little outlandish to those that it sounds outlandish to, whatever. The universe is just trying to let me know, like, don't worry so much. Trust the process has been a big theme too. It is just the same thing. It's just the same thing over and over again for me. It's just like, what's meant for you will come. What is not, you'll release. Trust the process. Everything's going to be okay. That's just been my motto for a long time. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Because what other choice do I have? Everything's not going to be fine? No. I don't want that. I want things to work out. It just doesn't always work out how we think it's going to. But it will work out. And it will work out in the way that is best for you, that is meant for you. Man, I know it all just, that's another thing I struggle with sometimes is like, I say these things and I'm like, yes, I do believe in myself. And it's like intuition, I guess. But when I talk about it sometimes, even when I think about it sometimes, I'm like, it's crazy. The universe is telling me to believe in myself, trust in myself. Everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, yep. The days that I like don't feel like taking care of myself, the days that are hard for me, that's when I like have these doubts about what normally I would just feel completely normal about. Does that make sense? Hold on, let me cough. Does that make sense though? It's like when your intuition is speaking to you and you know it's your intuition, or you feel a certain way about something, or you have particular thoughts about something and you're just like, yeah, exactly. I get it. But then some days you're like, are you sure? Some days it's like doubt creeps in because maybe you're just not feeling as great that day. And I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say. Sometimes we doubt ourselves. And that's all right. We won't always feel like this. It's okay to have these moments where you doubt yourself. It doesn't mean that you're losing yourself. It doesn't mean that you're losing touch with yourself. It just means you're a human being who lives in this crazy world. Of course, you're going to have doubts about some things. Of course, you're going to have worries. Even when everything around you is like reassuring you, the people in your life are good, the energies around you are good, things are good. You're just like, suspicious. I think that's what I struggle with sometimes. And that's okay. That's okay. It does not mean I think that's the fear that's rooted underneath all of this. I fear that I'll lose myself again. When I have these doubts, when I have these days, when I don't necessarily feel as strongly about my beliefs as I have before, or that I do on good days, whatever it is, when I doubt myself, I feel like I might lose myself. And that's the fear. I don't ever want to lose myself again. And I won't. I won't. I literally took care of myself today. In these moments when I'm feeling like this, I went and had a bath. And I scrubbed my face and I scrubbed my body and I put on music and I lit a candle and then I sat down and I did my podcast because I know this is important to me. Even if I didn't feel like it, even if I didn't believe in it today, I'm still doing it. I'm still showing up for myself because I'm not going to lose myself. You're not going to lose yourself. You're going to keep showing up for you, even in the days that you feel like you won't, even in the days that you don't believe in yourself. You're still going to be good to you. You're not going to lose yourself. I'm not going to lose myself. Yeah. I really just had to remind myself of that, I think. Yeah. I just had to let myself know. So I'll end it with this. I'll just end it with what I was saying. If you do doubt yourself some days, and you don't feel as close to yourself as you have before, you're not going to lose yourself. You've come this far and you've made it through everything. You've made it through some tough shit. You won't lose yourself. Not this time. Not again. Even on the days that are really tough. Even on the days when you doubt yourself. You've got this. You can do it. I believe in you. And everything's going to be okay. Thank you for being here for another episode of The Bedside Table. It's a little all over the place, I know, but sometimes it is. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Good night.